Do you guys remember a series that Ubisoft has clearly forgotten because it's not Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed anymore? Do you guys remember Ghost Recon? Ghost Recon was an awesome military FPS shooter, especially in the early generation of consoles, and has now still been around, I think. The latest game to come out was Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and unfortunately when Ghost Recon Breakpoint came out, they tried to add a gear score to make it like The Division, even though the fans wanted more military FPS immersion. They eventually did add that, calling it immersion mode, and it's a 10 out of 10 mode. And if you play Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I highly believe that's the way you should be playing it. Now, I want to talk to you about Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Wildlands, and I've talked about them in the past, but I wanted to talk about what I think they should do for the next game. I am a huge fan of Breakpoint, and I do believe Breakpoint is now a better game than Wildlands, but I want them to keep evolving. Breakpoint started adding these mechanics that kind of added more immersion to it. For example, if you got critically injured, you had to bandage yourself. And you couldn't just syringe yourself to keep healing, or you didn't just auto-heal. You actually had to sit down and walk through the animation and get actual bandaged up. Those bandages would stay on you for the rest of the fight, or until you got to a bivouac, stuff like that. They also added a water canteen, which unfortunately wasn't that useful because people barely ran out of stamina. Unless you crank that up, then it was really awesome. And the water canteen would actually help refill your exhaustion. And you had to refill this canteen throughout the world in water spouts. And it was awesome. It's just those tiny little things that I really like. Another tool that I really liked that they added to the game was the breach tool, which you could cut a piece of grate and then you could crawl in. Unfortunately, barely any bases had gates, so you just kind of used it like once or twice. But when you did use it, I liked the immersion of it. I like watching my character actually have to cut it open and crawl in and make it look inconspicuous. Like a ghost. Now, there's one thing about the Ghost Recon games that I really like, and that is the multiple biomes. Wildlands, we had the desert area, but it also had like this giant flatland sand. It was like a dried up ocean or river, and it was really nice. Then it had a snow biome, which I spent a lot of my time in, and then it had a jungle biome. Breakpoint mainly focuses on coastal island jungles, but it does have mountain landscapes that have snow. And with it being December, I wanted to talk about something that I really think Ubisoft should do for Ghost Recon to be set aside from all the different multiple military FPS shooters. I think they should set it in winter. Instead of only having a small segment of it like in Wildlands or a couple regions like in Breakpoint, they should have one where the majority of it is in winter. Now, I know one of the first complaints is going to be, well, if it's in winter, are they going to add temperature-based stuff? I think they should. I really do think they should. But if they do, people will complain because now you need to be in this bulky outfit all the time. You can't really customize as much as you want for jungle and desert. I can see a problem with that, but I mean, if you're buying a winter game, I would hope you would assume that, yes, I'm going to have to be bundled up. But they could also go ahead and do what they did before with Breakpoint. They had the gear score mode and immersive mode. What if you just have, a Wildlands mode and immersive mode again? But I feel like they shouldn't have to do that. If you buy a game that's going to be in the winter, you should understand that your outfits are probably going to be winter-based to keep your character warm. If you actually listen to my character in Breakpoint, you can hear her breathing during a prone camo where she covers herself in snow.
Them got smoked! They're coming! Contact! Watch your sector! Roger, we are good to go.
And I really like that, and that really got me thinking, we should have something similar to that in the next Ghost Recon game. And basically, if you wear better clothing, you can stay in prone camo more often, or you can stay in heavy snow more often, stuff like that. Blizzards would be such a great tool for the ghosts, because you could literally hide in the blizzard and sneak up on enemies. You could basically be like a fucking ninja with a smoke bomb attacking from inside the blizzard. And I think that'd be really cool. Just please fix your melee animations. They were really wonky when I was trying to record footage, so I do apologize on that. But it's just cool stuff like that they could do. They could do so much. And What military FPS do you know that's in winter, that's dealing with these environments? I don't really know any of them personally, and I think this would help Ubisoft and put Ghost Recon back up there with the other military FPS shooters like Arma and stuff like that. Not only that, Ghost Recon is available on console, and so adding this immersive military FPS shooter is going to bring in more players from console, because you can't play Arma 3 on Xbox or PlayStation, stuff like that. So having this shooter kind of be the bridgeway and have its own version of a simulated military FPS, both PC and console, would be a huge thing for Ubisoft. It doesn't have to go into super critical detail. It can be kind of like Breakpoint. Yes, you had to heal yourself, but it was just a long animation and it was just bandages wrapped around blood. But I would love it if they want to go farther, because I'm not going to say no to that. Would you say no to that? Not only that, but then maybe make camo more of a big deal in this game. For example, there is ghillie suits in Breakpoint, and unfortunately, the ghillie suits don't really do anything. Like, you can't do an all ghillied up like in Modern Warfare and basically stand still next to a soldier and hope they don't see you. They will eventually detect you. And that's what the prone camo is kind of for. It makes it so they can still not really detect you, but they will as soon as they get close enough. But that would be so cool to have like equipment and outfits related to the weather. For example, if you have a black gun or a bright green gun in the middle of a snowstorm, you're probably going to get detected more. Now, people might complain that, oh, well, Ghost Recon isn't supposed to be this immersive FPS shooter. I don't know, man. Breakpoint brought immersive mode, and if you play immersive mode on the highest difficulty, aka the most realistic, it's a lot of fun. It's hard, but it is a lot of fun, and I kind of want to see them keep going with that. I know when immersive mode came out, Breakpoint got such high praise, and basically the biggest thing people kept saying was, you should have done this in the beginning, and I 100% agree. After immersive mode came out, I recommended Breakpoint to everyone. Before it came out, no. The gear score mode was such a horrible idea. You literally have the Division. Why did you even think that was a good idea? But I wanted to just sit here and mention this to you guys, because I know it's been a couple years since we've heard of Ghost Recon. I know Frontlines got canned, thank God, because that was literally the opposite of what players are asking for. But I really think they should do this. The next Ghost Recon should be in a winter biome. And you could do something like the mountains area. Like, you could have this big mountain that's the main island of sorts. And then if you go lower down the mountains, we can say like the Himalayas or the Appalachian Mountains in the US, you can get some jungle areas. So basically you're reverse. Instead of the whole map being jungle with like 2 sections of winter, now the whole map is winter with like 2 sections of jungle. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I really hope we see something like this. I want to see it from the Breakpoint team especially. And I think it would actually be cool to see something brand new. It would put Breakpoint back on the map because no other shooter is doing this. And it might actually help Ubisoft if they get their heads out of their ass and don't ruin it, just like they almost did with Breakpoint.